Hey, good evening, guys. Here we are, Boxing 101 with me again, Monday nights, 8:30. Thanks for coming out on talkinfight.com. Live. Coming at you live. Right on. You got Neil the Deal here. Thanks a lot, guys, again for coming out. The views. I want to say thank you very much, guys, for the views, the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, and banging and bashing that notification bell. Things have been absolutely going bananas over here at Talkin Fight, and we got to thank you, the fans. We really appreciate you. So, thanks a lot again. Take care of yourselves whenever you're out and about. That's all I got to tell you. All right. So, let's get right into Boxing 101. As we do, we talk about the fights I was previewing last week for the weekend that just passed. And if you guys were watching any of those fights, I watched obviously all of them, and many, many, many more. I'm continually watching fights, old ones, new ones, young amateurs. As much information as we can get here at talkinfight.com to give you, the fans, and the people of the world, we will do here at talkinfight.com. So we're going to talk about the big fight that I was talking about last week, and it went off this weekend. It was the Tim Tszyu versus Carlos Ocampo fight. Now, if you go back to the other episode, I did let you guys all know that Mr. Tim Tszyu, I call him Tszyu, but it's really Zoo, uh, was a big up and comer a few years ago that I saw. He was the Thunder from down under. I knew that he had a chance to come through the ranks and make a big mark. He did most of his fighting in the South Pacific there in Australia, whatever you want to call it, in Australia. He was kind of off the radar, kind of a little bit on the radar a few years ago. I brought him out in the forefront, and here he is. He's now one step away from a world championship belt. He did an absolute amazing job. Mr. Zoo, if you're watching out there, fantastic, buddy. I'm really proud of you. That was an awesome display of boxing. It kind of brought me back to the old days when guys actually just went out there and gave it their all right from the second that the bell rang. It doesn't happen like that. Most of the time, guys kind of bounce around and bop around and feel each other out and la 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 and play la la da dee dee da 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 and all that jazz and stuff. But man, Zoo had nothing on his mind but absolute and complete annihilation, and that's exactly what happened, and that shocked me. I thought Ocampo would have more in his toolbox to be able to kind of stop Zoo, keep him at bay. He's got a long reach. He's got knockout power. He had a lot going for him, and I really thought he was somebody that could actually, give Zoo a really hard time, but that was not the case. If you go check out the fight, Mr. Zoo popped into the ring, popped into the first round, and absolutely threw it at him. Within a minute and 17 seconds, Ocampo had turtled, which is not what you want to do in a boxing match, and was knocked out flat on his keister. He had no chance. I don't even know if I've got to watch it a few more times. He might have landed one punch, I maybe one or two, but I don't even think they were just glancing blows. They weren't even scoring punches. But Zoo just went in there, and just destroyed him in seconds with phenomenal footwork. Put him right up against the ropes. Went inside, combination punching, uppercuts. It was a masterpiece right there. So again, watch out for Tim Zoo. He's uh, he's coming up. He won the belt. He's a belt holder now, but he's looking for the big belts. He wants the big ones. So I'm looking at him getting a big shot at one of the big boys, Devin Haney, possibly maybe Teofimo Lopez. Maybe we don't know what's happening with this retirement malarkey, whatever we know about the 5 fight thing. But he's my buddy. I love him more than anything. But we'll see what happens. I guess he's kind of wanting the Canelo deal. I guess it makes sense. But anyways, Kazuto was out of control. He's got some stiff competition. He could go up against Gervonta Davis. He's got so many guys that he's in that division that he's going to have to decide that his team's going to have to decide. I kind of think he needs one more before he takes. That is a huge step in competition to be able to have to fight these world champions right now in the lightweight division because all of them have their own style. All of them are fantastically put together. There's no weaknesses in most of these guys' game. So Tim's going to have to continue training hard, and I'm sure he'll do well. I think he's got a big shot. I told you years ago, and here it is. So I don't think he's going to waste it. So, anyways, moving on. We did talk also last week about the Regis Porgranis fight against Donatello Zorrilla. Now, guys, I watched that fight again live, and I was completely blown away. Myself and Knuckle Up Mikey Orr had a show last night, guys. If you want to check it out, we did a new show last night. Well, it is Knockout of the Week, but I'm now going to be part of Knockout of the Week with Mike. We're going to talk about stuff and figure that one out, I guess. And we had a great discussion about some of the fights, like the Zoo fight, the Progranus fight, as well as the Ali fight, and we had a great one. So if you want to check out yesterday's episode, Knockout of the Week with Mikey Orr and myself, check that out. But I'm going to go over it a little bit here with you guys here on my show. This is my opinion. Porgranis did not come out with a very good display. He was at home. He got lucky. First round, knocked out cold. I'm not going to get too far into it. Knocked out cold. He did the old fall into the crotch thing. Last time that happened, you don't even want to think about it. But he fell into his crotch, kind of slid down to his ankles, gave him the old grab. First round, he was totally knocked out, did not know where he was. That's an old trick, okay? That's an old trick. And lucky he was taught that old trick, because if not, he wouldn't be the world champion right now. He would have made himself kind of look dumb in front of his hometown crowd, etc., etc., etc. So he, right from round one, he wasn't himself. He didn't put out a very good display. He admitted it in the post-fight in the ring. Eddie Hearn kind of tried to, fudge the thing a little bit, but we all saw it. We're not blind. We may be deaf and dumb, but we're not blind. You know what I mean? And I'm not deaf, but it could be dumb. But anyways, Zorrilla, great show, man. He came in as a throw-in. He was a replacement. They kind of didn't give him much of a chance. I was telling you last week he was plus 800. Throw a little ding on him. I would say like $20, $10, something like, $10 pays $80. It's good to go. $5 pays $40. Good to go. And you know what? He actually did the job in round one, and the fight was over. So Progranus got really lucky in my mind. He's not going to get so lucky the next time. Mark my words. He kind of lost that fight overall, really, too. So again, we're going back to the home ice advantage. Maybe some of the refs were from the States. Who knows? You know what I mean? There's some weirdness going on there. He's a little bit of a bigger name, obviously, and the promoters want to keep the big names in the game. That way, they bring in bigger and better attendances, which means bigger and better paydays and bigger and better gate receipts, or they're bringing in more cash for themselves. So I can kind of see that one going down that way. It was a pretty good fight, like I say. Regis, you gotta have to really, like, you even admitted it, guys. Check it out. Go and Google all that, and you'll see he admitted it wasn't his best effort. He didn't fight very well. He needs to go back and work on a lot of things. He reviewed that knockout in the first round because they called it a push. Now, if you look at it, it's like it gave him time, not only between the time that he was grabbing onto his legs and sliding down to his ankles, that gave him about 8 seconds, and then he laid on the canvas for another 6 seconds, and then he got up, and then the ref called a push, and then he backed him up, which gave him another 10 seconds. So by then he had sort of got his wits about himself, but the first 5 seconds of that knockout, he was literally in la la land. He did not know where he was, what was happening, and he was grasping at straws, which apparently were Zorrilla's legs. So I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, this guy's actually pulling that trick. That is unbelievable. So I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to win. He did what he had to do, and that's the end of that. We'll see how it goes. Good luck next time, Regis. And Zorrilla, I like you, man. That was a good display. You really brought it, and Progranus, you really got to step it up a notch, because being a champion and having that kind of a fight, you don't want that under your resume, because the next time it ain't going to be so pretty. All right, so guys, thanks again for coming out. Boxing 101 here at talkinfight.com with me, Neil the Deal. We're going to talk a little bit about the fights this week that I'm looking at. So, I did predict Tim Tszyu, and I did predict Progranus, so I got 2 for 2 on my predictions right there last week. All right, let's go with the new ones this week. This weekend, we got some big fights coming up, guys. Another great, blistering, bopping weekend. We got Edgar Berlanga versus Jason Quigley. That will be Jason Quigley. Berlanga versus Quigley, Saturday, June 24th, Madison Square Garden Theater, New York, USA. All right, that's the big house. That's the Mecca. That's where everybody wants to be. It's in the it's a 10 rounder in the super middleweight division. Berlanga is from the U.S. and Quigley is from Ireland. Berlanga has a record of 20-0. He's 26 years old. Quigley has a record of 20-2, and he's 32 years old. So there is what, a 7-year difference in age. Berlanga has 16 KOs and Quigley has 14 KOs. So they both have 20 wins. So pretty even on that level. Although Berlanga is ranked very much higher than Quigley. Quigley has no ranking, and Berlanga is number 5 by Ring, number 5 by the WBO, number 11 by the IBF, and number 11 by the WBC. So Berlanga is looking like the guy that's early on in his career. His fights were lasting about 1 to 2 rounds. He basically knocked out everybody. The last couple of fights, they've been going a little longer. I've seen a few of them. Some are in the 6, 7 round range, 7, 8 rounds. So his competition's been getting stiffer, but he's still been handling it no problem. I'm thinking that this is going to be a real good fight. I think I like Berlanga. He's got a little more skill, I think natural skill than Quigley. Quigley's a great fighter. He's got a lot of heart. You know, the Irish fighters, they drink hard, they fight hard, whatever. They do it all, they sing hard. You know what I mean? So the Irish, are a serious bunch of fighters, no matter what you look, and they always bring a big game. I'm looking forward to that. I think Quigley's got a chance, but I'm going to take Berlanga KO between the 6th and 8th round. I don't think Quigley's going to be able to handle that barrage from Berlanga. And he's got a little more, I would say, just natural skill. He's a little more put together. He keeps his chin in a little tighter. His combination punching's a little bit better. He works the ring a little bit better than Quigley. So it's close, but I'm going to give it to Berlanga. I'm going to give him a knockout probably around the 7th, 8th round. Could be early as a 6th. That's going to be a broadcast. It'll be on DAZN Global in the UK and DAZN USA. So we always like DAZN. Thank you very much, the guys at DAZN, for bringing us these great fights around the world. We really appreciate it here at talkinfight.com. And guys, always go to DAZN. It's a great little. I would say, if you're going to pay for a monthly subscription, try it out. But me, I always go for a yearly. You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt, because they just bring sport after sport after sport, and the big fights, the big matches, everything is so easy. It's a really easy. It's really easy when you get to the zone and you check out their how it works. You guys will be really happy. There's a 2-year-old could get to zone, if you know what I mean. So some of the up and coming fights I think these guys are going to be looking at. Obviously, they're both looking at Canelo. Canelo's the big man. I don't think either of them are in that league as of yet. They could be in the next year, but they both want a shot at Canelo. I think that Berlanga, he really likes Diego Pacheco. He's also looking at David Benavidez, which might be a problem for him too, because Benavidez is a big time fighter with long arms and a lot of heart. There's also Jamie Munguia, who just became a world champion. He's another guy I talked about. He's now a world champion. They might want to bring him up and fight him. That goes as well as Quigley. If Quigley pulls it off, he's probably looking at Ryota Murata. Somebody like that could be a good opponent for him. Canelo, of course. Gary Spike O'Sullivan, I understand, is in the mix. And again, Jamie Munguia. So, I mean, these guys are at the top of their game. Both of them got a lot in the tank. So it's going to be a barn burner, and I'm really looking forward to it. So check it out on DAZN. The next fight we're looking at is going to be, again, Saturday, June 24th. It's from the Ota City General Gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan. That fight is Joshua Franco versus Kazuto Ioka, and that is number 2. So they had a number 1 fight, and we might as well talk about that before we talk about anything. They had a fight December 31st, 2022. It was a majority draw, which I was a little confused about majority draw. So how does that work exactly, guys? Well, I checked it out. What it is it's 2 judges have the fight as a draw, and 1 judge has a winner. So nobody wins. It's actually a draw because the draws outweigh the winner. So it's 2 judges draw and 1 judge winner. So that it ended up in a majority draw. So basically it was a stalemate. So this is number 2. It's in the same place as number 1 was, there in the gymnasium, general gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan. It was approximately what? That would be, well, 6 months and 24 days, something like that. 6 months, 24 days ago, they were in the same spot. So now they're in the second fight. It's a 12 rounder in the super flyweight division. Franco is rated number 4 by Ring Magazine. Kazuto Ioka is ranked number 6 by the WBA and number 2 by Ring Magazine. It's 115 pound, 5.2 stone, 52.2 kilogram division. And they're fighting for the WBA Super Flyweight Championship of the World. Big, big match. Uh, Boxing in Japan is huge, as we know. Inuis are just bringing it on. Naoya has got like what, 4 belts now. He's like kicking butt, which I have told you about him before, and I got a lot of views with Naoya Inui. And hey, man, congratulations, by the way, Anoya. Good job, man. You're doing exactly what I figured you'd be doing over there. So it's going to be the flyweight championship of the world there. Franco and Ioka, 2. Franco is 18-1 with 3 draws. He's got 8 KOs. That gives him a 52% knockout percentage. Ioka is 29-2-1, 15 KOs. That's a 44% knockout ratio. Percentage, sorry, right? Franco is 27 years old and Ioka is 34 years old. So there is a 7-year difference in age. Now, in the first fight, it's interesting because Ioka was a big favorite in that fight. He was minus 180, which means you put up $180 to win 100. But and I believe Franco was like plus 140 or something like that. So you put up 100, you win 140. So it ended up a draw. And we're going to go over those numbers in a second. There were no numbers on the earlier fight. The odds bookies have not brought it out as of yet, so we couldn't really predict that one. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go over a few little things, like the ring walk of that one is going to be at 12 p.m. UTC, which is obviously Japan time. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So at 8 a.m., I'll be watching that fight on Saturday, 8 a.m. here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. 5 a.m. Pacific time. So 5 a.m. in California. I really don't think those people are going to get up at 5 a.m. to watch that. You know how California is. They're probably just going to sleep at 5 a.m. And 1 p.m. British Standard Time in the UK. So at 1 p.m., right when the boys are cracking a few beers there at the pub there, they're going to watch the fight. And there's a couple of English ones too. They're probably checking out. All right. So the odds opened up. Franco was minus 130. Ioka was plus 100. So, but that has changed. Now it is Franco is minus 130 and Kazuto Ioka is minus 110. So he's a slight underdog now. Kazuto is an underdog. My prediction on this is going to be, I'm going to go right back to the first fight. What it should be was minus 180. Now Franco's the favorite. So I am taking Kazuka Iota. I'm just call it a split decision. I think it's going to go all the way. Split decision for Ioka. And that's my prediction on that one. I'm probably going to shoot down 50 skins or whatever on that and hope for the best. I mean, it's going to be a great fight. It's pretty even. Both the fighters have skill. They've already fought against each other. It was a draw. So I can't see it being really, really one-way lopsided in this second fight. So that's basically what we're going to do. All right, so that's that. Last but not least, I'm just going to talk quick about the Carlos Amires and Julian Williams fight. That's going to be in Armory, Minneapolis, USA. That is, again, Saturday the 24th this weekend. It's 160 pound. It's in the middleweight division. And 160 pound, 11.4 stone, 72.6 kilogram. I always love the middleweight division because it's Marvin Hagler, one of my favorites. And they're vying for the WBC interim middleweight championship of the world. That will be a great fight. You might want to check that out too. Adames is 22-1 with 17 KOs. Williams is 28-3 with 16 KOs. Showtime is covering that one. Big Showtime, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 4 a.m. British Standard Time in the UK. So I'll be watching that 11 p.m. on Showtime because it's free. Showtime is good here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So that's what we got for the weekend, guys. Hope you had a good time. Enjoy yourselves. Next week, we'll see you a lot. Love the views. The views have been going up great, guys. I really appreciate the sharing and stuff you've been doing for all of the Talkin Fight hosts. We're all appreciating the views, the shares, the likes. The subscriptions have been bombing up, and everything else has been going great. So until next time, get better, not bitter. We'll see you. We'll see you soon. Probably. Let me think. We might see you later this week with big boy Mikey or Knuckle Up Mikey, or he's got a few things in store for me apparently. So hopefully we'll see you then, but we will see you next week here, Monday, Boxing 101 with me, Neil the Deal. Again, get better, not bitter. Take care.